All right, it's time for some real talk. There's a saying that goes, you can't cure stupid. You ever hear that saying? It's blunt, sure, but the idea is clear. You can't fix what someone else refuses to acknowledge or work on. Let me tell you, the same is true for toxic people. You cannot heal toxic behaviors in someone else, whether it's manipulation or lying or controlling tendencies or emotional unavailability. You can't take care of any of that. You can't cure that unless that person takes intentional steps to change. And if you're thinking about taking a toxic ex back, you really need to be real with yourself. Unless they can show you concrete proof that they've done the work to fix their issues, you're just signing yourself up for more of the same cycle of heartbreak over and over and over again. So let's talk about toxicity. Toxicity doesn't just go away with time. It's not something that people grow out of, like this awkward stage that you and I went through in our teens. Toxic patterns, whether they stem from insecurity or unresolved trauma or lack of emotional intelligence, that kind of stuff requires deep self-awareness and intentionality in working to change. Research published in the Journal of Personality Disorders in 2014, that's not very long ago, highlights that behavioral change, especially when it comes to toxic traits, involves therapy, self-reflection, and consistent accountability. If your ex isn't actively doing that work, then you got to ask yourself, what's really changed? A few weeks or months or even years is not going to fix toxic behavior if the person hasn't been intentional about addressing their personal flaws. Without that effort, you're just inviting the same problems back into your life. So when a toxic ex wants to come back, they'll often come armed with all kinds of promises. Promises like, I've changed, I'm a different person, or I'm not like that anymore, or I'm going to do better this time. I know I am. But let's get one thing straight. Words are cheap. Change isn't about what somebody says. It's about what they do or are doing in their lives. And so here's what you need to look for if you're even considering giving your ex another chance. Number one, accountability. Have they owned up to their mistakes without deflecting, without blaming, without minimizing? That's really important. Number two, actionable change. Have they sought therapy? Do they read books on emotional growth? Have they taken steps to break their toxic patterns? And they probably do have some toxic patterns that they need to be aware of. And then number three, consistency over time. This is why I tell people, don't ever jump back into a relationship. Give it time. Are they showing these changes consistently, not just when they want something from you? Unless they're showing you verifiable evidence of dramatic growth, you're likely walking back into the same storm that you just walked out of. So let's flip the script for a second. Why are you even entertaining the idea of letting a toxic person back into your life? If someone's behavior hurt you so deeply that the relationship ended, why would you risk reopening that wound? Here's the truth. You deserve a partner who meets you where you are emotionally and mentally and spiritually. Someone who lifts you up instead of tearing you down. By holding space for a toxic ex to re-enter your world, you're essentially blocking yourself from finding someone better, someone healthier. And let's be honest, you're better than that. So, the bottom line is this. You can't cure stupid, and you can't heal toxic. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's true. You can't force somebody to grow. They have to want to grow for themselves. And unless your ex can prove with action, not just with words, that they've done the work and are continuing to do the work to change in significant, measurable ways, you owe it to yourself to keep that door shut. Because here's the thing. Taking someone back who hasn't changed is like returning to a fire expecting not to get burned. You're worth more than recycled pain over and over again. I want to encourage you to choose peace, choose growth, and above all, choose yourself. Remember, the higher you climb, the better the view. Let me encourage you to climb higher because you deserve to be happy.